Hello, everyone. Scribbler Johnny checking in before we resume The Horrible Beauty. Now, I just wanted to ask once again that if you are listening to my stories and enjoy them, please like them and please subscribe to my channel. It does help me, and it especially helps me know that my stories are actually being listened to because YouTube's reporting is getting really weird and it's even affecting the big channels. Everyone's seeing this marked drop in the reported view counts. So the likes help me know that you are um, clicking on the videos and listening to the stories. Now, as we continue the story, The Horrible Beauty, we see one of the recurring themes that comes up in a lot of my stories, which is a way of me exercising some of my demons from my past of um, being used, manipulated, and exploited by women that I trusted in my life. I was a people pleaser, and that put me into some unhealthy situations. So I I had to put it in my story because it just it needed to be discussed. And so as we pick up where we left off in The Horrible Beauty, Chips, Felice, and Charcy are traveling to the different knighthoods to tell them about their plan to try and prevent the dragon war that would prevent the awakening of Tiamat and destruction of Levantus. We now continue The Horrible Beauty. Chip slept in Charcy's arms that night, and she didn't mind that at all. Felice was sure all was right in the world, sharing, loving, the stars above, on a quest. She was as happy as she could remember. Kumak missed her missing family members terribly. Sasha was happy to cuddle, but often too tired to make love. Kumak enjoyed reading children's stories and answering the children's questions and playing music for them on her button accordion. But when she had time alone, she longed for her family and adult company. She could hear their laughter, or so it seemed. Sasha was content, confident they would return, but Kumek worried. Masha and Fortunatus tried to help, but Kumek was rarely consolable. They were also not at all interested in sharing, so Kumek often comforted herself, picturing her husbands and her wives, imagining their touch, imagining their scent. She imagined herself in a loving embrace with Etta and Chips, and feeling Seven looking on and watching them in that special way he had. In this way, she passed most nights, comforting herself as she could. But when she had the strength, Sasha would find herself eager to make love. The flowers sprouted and grew, and it grew warmer. Spring made itself known. Kumak began to worry that she was not actually pregnant. But she reassured herself that it was early still, and there would soon be signs to prove it. The head of the Knights of the Quill was a venerable Calabarthi. Etta led the conversation, explaining their plan, and he readily agreed. The next stop, the Bronze Dragoons, was a longer journey, even riding Vochos. They couldn't find any alternative, so they made their preparations and joined along a caravan that was heading to the same city after pausing to send a letter home. Felice and Charcy and Chips had an easy journey until they reached the marsh favored by the black and the blue dragons together. The barge that they contracted overcharged them, and keeping the biting insects away was difficult, even with a repellent lotion that Edda provided. They cuddled under netting and didn't do anything but sleep, which they did in shifts anyway, mistrusting the boatmen, who often leered at the Vierna women. Not many Vienna around here? Chips asked irritably. Sure there are. Lots. The boatman found this funny. Charcy took this as a cue to string her bow, and Felice began making a show of inspecting her rapier. Chips fetched his harpoon and held it closely. The boatman didn't think anything was funny anymore, and became intent on poling through the marshy waters. They reached the stronghold and found all of their things intact. They walked the Vochos. The surrounding village was peopled mostly by Mataka, with plenty of humans and at least 3 Mugus. The commander of the Black Dragoons was not expected to return for another day, but the Blue commander happily greeted them. Chips smiled. Felice felt nervous, and Charcy too. So, began the commander, a human man with graying hair, what brings you, Sir Summoner, and ladies, to my stronghold? Chips explained. Cassandra? You are far from home. Very important mission, though. Indeed, thousands of lives could be spared, Felice added. The commander asked, So, who else have you spoken to? Chips told him and mentioned who they would see next. Ah, you're expected? Well, yes, Chips lied. You have my support. I'll tell my men, and we'll contact our dragons, of course. Good luck with T'Pring. T'Pring? She's the commander of the Black. A Mataka with a lot of duels notched into her spear. They nodded at this. Thank you. Not at all, I'm sure. The greater good and all. They found an inn. It had 1 free room only, and it was shabby. But the mosquito netting was in good repair. Chips called upon Breezy and also Marina. Please guard us while we sleep, ladies. The two exchanged scaly grins and nodded. A kiss, please, Magus, Marina asked. Chips obliged her, holding the Undine gently, smelling the sea in her green hair. She smiled and vanished with an audible splash. Without waiting for a request, he kissed Breezy as well, inhaling the scent of saffron that clung to her. She slipped her tongue into his mouth and pressed her scaly bosom against his chest. She giggled and then vanished with a gust of warm wind. Come to bed, husband. We'll be safe, Felice called out. He needed to expend a great deal of his mana to keep both of the ions present, but that enchanted medallion was already replenishing him, and he eagerly lay in his wife's embrace, and feeling Charcy caress him. I don't trust any of these people. You'll find another way back. Damn the expense, Felice said, and he nodded with her before giving her a kiss. Charcy kissed his neck and held him close, her smaller frame pressed against him. And the 3 of them then made love. Chips remarked, Charcy, your heat period is over. Uh-huh. You're doing this because you want me then? He asked. Yes. You know I'm a married man. Yes, don't make me beg for it. And then Chips kissed her and stopped. I'm sorry, Charcy. You don't want to get married. You don't want to be part of my family. We had a good time, but I can't do this. Your heat, it is a different matter. It's against my ethics to make love to you like this, even with Felice's approval. Charcy frowned. Why is it wrong now? Why was it okay back in the lands of the gold? I wasn't myself, and you might have still been on your period. I'm sorry. I don't want to hurt you, but it isn't right. I know you want me. I want you. Where is a problem? I'm married, and you're not my wife. Neither is Breezy. You make love to her. She's bonded to me. It's rather like a marriage. So if we aren't bonded, what are we? We're very good friends. All right then, Chips, I want to bond with you. I might now be carrying your child. I just don't want your whole family. Is that wrong? Felice spoke up. I don't see the problem, Sugar. She's bonded to me. I'm bonded to you by marriage. She's bonded to you. It sounds simple when you put it that way, but I have 3 other wives who might not agree. I must consider their feelings. Well, I am the only wife holding you, and I claim sole privilege. Yes, love. Love my sword sister as if she were me. I demand it of you. That's. I. And Charcy kissed him. Please, don't hurt my feelings. He sighed at Charcy's words. As my wife has demanded by right. And so, Chips made love to Charcy as he never did before, with more passion, with more tenderness. And when he reached a shuddering conclusion with his eyes closed, he opened them, but he did not see his wife. He saw a very happy friend. He pulled away from her and began to weep, crawling toward Felice. There in his wife's arms, he felt less awful. He kept repeating, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Sugar Chips, don't you lie and say that you don't love Charcy. I do love Charcy, but she doesn't love me. That's why it hurts so much. Even after that, she doesn't love me. Please don't do that to me again. Charcy watched this exchange silently. Felice spoke next. I'm sorry, I thought it would be something good. But I did you a wrong. Charcy reached out, touching Chips. Oh, I do love you, Chips. But I can't love you in the way you need. I guess I won't ask again until I'm in my heat period the next time. Please don't cry. I'm sorry. I just wish things were right. They aren't, though. It's not right, Chips said. And Charcy felt great shame then. What if I changed my mind? What happens if I ask to join you? You would have to love us all. We're a package deal, and I cannot go and make side deals. Charcy saw no way around it. Unless, Chips, I pledge to serve you. I require your love as part of my servitude. It sounded to him like an ion contract. It felt familiar. Is this really what you want? To be my servant, just for my good loving? I might become the mother of your child. I need that recognition and bond. Do you take me as I am, to serve you for love, food, board, and coin? Do it, husband. This way everyone wins. What would Etta say? Felice imitated the voice of her co-wife. Just do it and have done. I don't care how many servants you bonk as long as I get mine. Hmm, that does sound like her. What if you do have my child? We had that conversation already. Take me on? Yes, Chips. I take you as you are, to serve me until you no longer want to. Both women kissed him. It felt strange, but he still felt happy. They felt happy. So what harm? Marina caught the swimming sneak thief and filled his lungs with water. Some slavers came toward them. Breezy revealed herself, smiling, and they ran away at the sight of her. She laughed to herself. They ran away, but her Magus ran to her. She knew she was beautiful. She resumed invisibility. Why are you empty-handed? He has a guardian demon. The most horrifying thing I've ever seen. It's true, sir. Scales and fangs, and it were purple. The knight commander dismissed these men. It had been worth the try. The stronghold of the Black Dragoons was damp, bad smelling. T'Pring seemed young, but she carried herself with the right authority. Chips explained the plan to her. She nodded thoughtfully. I see the value in your plan. Chips nodded. I agree to support your plan. The Black Dragons and the Knights took heavy losses the last Dragon War. We have been betrayed by Amethyst. Chips nodded. Thank you. Be sure to watch your back. Blue can only be trusted if you're stronger than they are. He nodded again. Are you really Chips Ravenholm? Yes, Knight Commander. How do you and your Mataka wife? She looked confused. Oil? She nodded. Is it pleasurable? She and I get much pleasure from it. I see. Good day. Good day, T'Pring. If we are successful, I will bring Satrasha to visit, and she can tell you all about it. Thank you. I think I would enjoy that. They were not bothered as they left. Word had spread quickly. Next they headed north to journey to the island stronghold of the White Dragoons. Etta and Seven were relishing their journey. It felt just like old times. However, they stayed on their alert, and they made their way through a forested area where the Greens were stationed. They were unharmed and uninterrupted on their way, but they did feel as if they were watched. They behaved normally. Etta even kissed him once. And then they got lost. If anyone is watching, we are on a diplomatic mission. Please take us to your commander, Seven said loudly. There was some movement, and someone wearing the robes of a priest stepped forward. Hail, they greeted him. I'm going to kill you, and my friends are going to kill yours. Meet my friend Gargax. And a column of fire erupted from the very ground, and a massive demon roared at them. The priest retreated. Etta cursed, and she threw the first grenade she could find. It turned out to be a frost bomb, and it seemed to hurt the demon immensely. It belched flame at Etta, who could not dodge in time, and she fell screaming to the ground. Seven doused her with his canteen and leaped over a swipe from the demon's barbed tail. Etta managed to drink some healing water and waited to recover. Seven unleashed his own breath weapon upon the demon to no visible effect, and then stabbed it furiously. Etta staggered and found a fire protection potion which she poured on herself. Seven leaped high and came crashing down with lightning crackling along his spear. Etta struck with another frost bomb, and then she threw a flask of holy water. That seemed to finish it. The demon vanished in a cloud of brimstone-reeking smoke, and Etta whooped, "Come get us, priest!" Seven breathed into the forest, wilting and killing several shrubs and a tree. The priest became visible, staggering forward, gasping, and Seven finished him with a thrust that was merciful. He lifted up the priest's medallion. "Unconquered son," he noted, and he rifled through the priest's belongings, pocketing his coin and holding his dagger distastefully. He stabbed it into the dead tree and broke off the blade inside the bark. Without the obscuring foliage, he saw another path. Seven closed his eyes and spoke. "Dragon spirit, guide me to the other dragoons." He felt a pull in the direction of that path he saw. He pointed with his spear, and Etta followed. They had faced the demon his forebearer had warned about, surely. They found the great hall only an hour later. They received a lot of glares and muttered imprecations, but the knight commander agreed to see them. The commander was wearing full armor, and had removed his helm after they entered his office. "So, Lieutenant Grimhorda the Seventh, you have come to my great hall not 1 year after killing one of mine." "Aye, sir." "He challenged you. He induced you to make it to the death. You showed no mercy." "Aye, sir." "You have nothing else to say on the matter?" "Nothing more need be said, sir." "I agree. Tell me about your diplomatic mission." "We come to attempt to prevent the next Dragon War," he and Etta explained. The commander nodded. "Doubt it'll work, but it's worth the try. We Green are not altruists, but neither are Topaz. No one wants to lose their men, or innocent bystanders." "Very well, I'm with you." "Thank you, sir. Tell me, Galen died bravely?" "He fought to the end, showing no fear." "Good. Go in peace. Hopefully the emeralds don't kill you." He nodded at this, and that night they slept in the woods. "Gee, I hope our spouses are okay," Etta said. "Me too. I know they're resourceful and capable, but I still worry." A hatred with Emerald. "What is the breath weapon of the emeralds?" "A horrid scream. It can shatter crystals and deafen, among other things." "Creepy." "That's not all. Their ethos is twisted and strange." "Great." "We knew we had a hard road. We're doing it for our children." "I know." When Kumek received the letter, she read it aloud. "Chips wrote us, 'Dear family,'" it read. "We have had total success so far. Our health is good and our spirits are high. Charcy and Felice had their heat period at the same time. It was exhausting." Masha giggled at this. Kumak frowned. "That means he rutted with Charcy." "What else could he do?" Sasha asked. "Vierna go crazy," Kumak replied. "I guess it couldn't be helped." She read on. "Did Masha have her heat too?" "Felice says they are synced in that way. Sorry if I embarrassed you, Masha. We have few interruptions, and all is well. I hope you are also well. Love to all of you. From Chips, Felice, and Charcy. Kumek kissed the letter, leaving a lipstick mark. I love you too. Sasha cuddled the children. Did you hear that? Papa Chips and Mama Felice send their love. So does Auntie Charcy, Masha said. That's right, Sasha affirmed. Mataka grew rather faster than humans, and as the children were talking much more now and began to be potty trained, they still loved their toys, and they loved playing in the back garden. Eight was the fastest runner and the swimmer. Nappa was the most interested in how things worked, and Hephzibah was the most interested in talking about her thoughts and feelings. Kumak bought new toys to match their interests. A Mugu doll for Heffy, since their toy store had no Mataka dolls, a toy spear for Eight, and some building blocks for Nappa. Nappa loved stacking the blocks and also putting them in his toy wagon. When asked what she wanted to name her doll, Hephzibah replied, Well, what is a good name for a Mugu? Kumak smiled. What do you think of calling her Calliope? Hephzibah nodded. Calliope, that's her name. She's furry and soft like you, Mama Kumak. That's right. I'm a Mugu too. And you and your brothers and your mummy and daddy are Mataka. You have scales and tails and big strong teeth. The child nodded and said something in Mataka law. I don't speak Mataka law yet, Heffy. I said we are different, but we are a family. That's right. We are a family, and we love you. Kumek's sisters, Kopi and Lillian, visited often during the spring, and the mothers were relieved to have adult company. They were well. Chips, Charcy, and Felice ran afoul of the sun priests at the docks in a Polmarch Empire city that was known as Clements. Ho, summoner! Greetings from the Cult of Sol Invictus. I'm going to kill you, and my friend is going to kill the alchemist and the dragoon. Say hello to my... An arrow was suddenly protruding from his throat, which he feebly clawed at before rolling forward to bleed on the road. The partners looked around for any friends of his, and, finding none, Felice encased the priest's head in a block of ice, using her magic, and they tossed him unceremoniously off the dock into the ocean. He sank and disappeared into the dark water. I hate bloody sun priests, Charcy said as they made their way to the passenger steamer ships. The tickets were very reasonably priced, their non-citizen surcharge notwithstanding. The voyage was rough, and they spent the whole trip in their berth, even taking their meals below decks. With so much time in a rocking ship, the ginger tea was a lifesaver. They found it too hard to read, so they did a lot of sleeping and, well, reading as well. In short, the voyage was great, but they were very ready to be on their way again, not on the ship. The people in the next city were dressed in leathers that were treated with oil. Everybody knew where the Great Hall was. Finding it was easy. The Great Hall for the Knights of the White Dragon was an imposing castle. Banners flapped in the heavy wind, and a dragoon wearing white lacquered armor glided down to land in front of the trio. What is your business? He demanded. I'm Chips Ravenholm, Count of Montblanc. With me are my wife, Felice Sharpstar, and my servant, Charcy. We are on a diplomatic mission to the knighthood to seek a prevention of the Dragon War. The knight pondered their words. You may enter our hall, but wait in the main hall. He turned and leaped away. Spectral wings spread from his back. They continued forward, and the huge steel-banded doors slowly moved to allow them entry. It was colder inside the castle somehow. Charcy drew closer to Felice. They waited, alone, but certainly watched. They saw a major domo approach. Commander Dogmar will see you. This way. He turned on his heels and led them to a door made of a wood that seemed to be petrified. Commander Dogmar was over 6 feet tall, almost as tall as the tops of the Viera's ears. Her hair was so pale it was almost the same white as theirs. She was handsome. That was the only word for it. Her jaw was strong and her eyes ice blue. Tell me, she said in a deep voice. Chips explained. Dagmar nodded. We are remote and isolated here in our island fortress, but the white dragons have been feeling Tiamat's stir and they have told us. I will do what I can to help. Thank you for treating us with respect. Give my regards to Topaz. I will, my lady. The next ferry won't leave for a week. You may stay as my guests. Thank you. She smiled and pointed. A squire had appeared silently behind them. Hamsar, take them to guest room 3A. He bowed and led them to a large room with a large bed and long couches. The squire wordlessly began making a fire. Thank you. Hamsar, is it? He nodded. Hamsar pointed to a small door across the hallway. That's my room. Do you know the name of the sentry who met us? He nodded enthusiastically. Uncle Eastvan. He's a real trooper. The youth left, closing the door silently behind him. Something feels strange about that person, Felice remarked. Chips nodded. Perhaps strange, but we knew what he meant. Maybe he's not quite right in his head. The women nodded and set down their bags. Commander Dogmar is hospitable, also quite direct, Charcy observed. I like that. They were invited to dine with Commander Dogmar at her table that night. The commander's table was set aside from the long tables that the other knights were at. Everyone stood when Dogmar entered, their uniforms immaculate. She was wearing a flowing white dress with a plunging neckline and a sash that displayed her medallions. Chips noticed one of the medals resembled a rose, and also he saw a copper cross. He wondered if they meant the same thing as Seven's medals. She bade them to sit, and everyone took their seats. I noticed you appraising my decorations, Mont Blanc. Yes, Commander. My husband has two that are similar. Husband? Are you polyandrists? Not quite, ma'am. We are multiamorously married. A plural marriage. I have 4 wives as well. I see. What medals has he earned? Grim Hordad VII has earned the Desert Rose with distinction and the Copper Cross with valor. The Desert Rose? She indicated her sash. This is my Copper Cross, for fidelity, and a Frosted Rose, Order of the Wolf, for fidelity, and a Broken Cross with valor. Do the roses mean the same thing, ma'am? She paused. I suspect they do. I only display my rose at home. A dragon chose me, and your co-husband must have been similarly chosen. I can tell by the look of pity on your face. You notice my rose lacks the distinction badge, and you pity me. Indeed, Commander, that you sit with us well and whole is impressive and truly inspiring. She smiled gently. Do not pity me, Magus. I lost my mind, but I survived, and my child sometimes visits, though he spends his days with his father. If I may ask, Felice began, what was it like, birthing a half-dragon? Like I imagine it is to birth a human. He changed his shape after he grew. All dragons can change their shape, you see. Felice nodded, and Charcy added, you said I imagine. You had no other children? No, I wouldn't allow another man to touch me. She squinted her eyes and then began to eat. Later, she began telling a story as if nothing had happened. They laughed politely and made no mention of her broken cross, drawing their own conclusions. Dagmar was a gracious hostess, and she paid attention to each of them. Before she roamed the room, speaking with her knights and the other guests. Chips thought that the broken cross must be to commemorate something dreadful, considering the symbolism employed by the draconic orders. That night, they stayed awake for some time, talking about how they would spend the week. Chips planned to do a walkabout, seeking ions and ingredients maybe for alchemy to bring home to Edda. Lise and Charcy didn't want him to leave them, but they agreed to allow him solitude. They would be in town, shopping about and gathering gossip. In time, Chips dreamed. He saw an ion flying, resembling a hawk with many colored feathers, and it flew directly in front of him and was struck by a bolt of lightning, gliding on unharmed. A Garuda storm bird. The bird turned away from him and pointed a wing to what Chips saw was a throne. Chips approached the throne. He saw a man dressed in fine linen and carrying a steel ring. Chips bowed and the man spoke. You don't know me, man. I am the Storm Lord. You may call me Indra. Hail, Indra. You are a prisoner, Chips Ravenholm. Your prison is comfortable, but you will not be allowed to leave. I can help you, but I do nothing for free. Chips nodded. Your price? Never bind one of my Garuda birds. I seek to bind with every ion I can, Indra. I know. Instead of a Garuda, why not one of my stepdaughters? The Ramu. There are too many of them, if I'm speaking the truth. I accept your offer, Lord Indra. Really? Sight unseen? Chip shrugged. I imagine a storm ion is like another to me. Fair enough. My assistance will be obvious when it comes. Chips bowed low. Felice held him in her sleep. When he awoke, he felt troubled. He didn't mention his dream. He tried to go north for his walkabout, but the sentry detained him, warning about a massive storm. Chips returned to their room, carrying a book given to him by the historian. There is going to be a very bad storm, likely why the steamer is delayed. I dreamed about a storm lord last night. His companions had resigned faces. More time confined. I know what I want to do, Charcy announced, leering at him. Chips held up the book. Local legends. Chips read aloud to amuse them. At lunch, the commander invited Chips to a private meeting, assured that the secrecy was for the safety of the people. Chips informed the ladies and added, with how things have gone, I'm worried too. Husband, just bonk her until she's happy. He gave her a dark look. The Vierna thought this was funny. Chips did not. He reported to the meeting room and knocked. "Enter," Dogmar answered. Chips sighed and pushed the door open and shut it behind him. "How can I help you, Commander Dogmar?" The commander was wearing a simple dress, tied in the front with cords. He grew certain, with trepidation, that she was wearing no underclothes. "I am a woman on an island with a birth problem. We need more people to make our people strong. I would like your help with that." "I bloody knew it. Greater good, right? I'm married to 4 women, so I'm lascivious and have loose morals, right? I should be happy to help, right? Well, I'm bloody not happy. I love my wives, you understand? You're a fine, strong woman, and I admire you, but my answer is no." "No? But I'm sorry. No." He found the door would not budge. "Damn you, woman. I can destroy this castle, you know that. My toxicatas can make your walls collapse on themselves and fill your lungs with noxious gases. My Undine can flood this whole area. My Hellhound can burn it to the ground. My Zephyr can suffocate all of you. My Stone Bones can make an earthquake. I won't do that, though. Magus, please. I have my dignity." "Yes, milady. I'm being very ungentlemanly." "Very well, remove your dress. Don't be shocked at my scars." She disrobed and spread her dress over a table. She had obviously earned her command through many battlefield promotions. She was all over scars. Without looking her in the eyes, he traced them gently with his fingers. She shivered at his gentle touch. "Your touch feels so right," she whispered with her eyes closed. "So I'm a man worthy of you?" "Yes." And he kissed her, still feeling like a heel. He did his part for the greater good. Again. She kissed him repeatedly as she held him. "Again, tonight. We have to be sure." "Yes, milady. Then can we go?" "I'm sorry, but the storm will likely last days. And the other girls." "Of course. The others." "I really don't want to use you, but we need it, or we'll have more like Hamsar. They call him feeble-minded, and there are others who are lame or sickly. Give me your word there will be no dragons." "No dragons, Chips." He pulled away from her. "If my wife had not given her permission, we would have had a fight on our hands." He then dressed himself. "Please don't be mean." "No, milady. We're putting the best possible face on it, aren't we? Will I earn a rose too?" She began to weep. "If it pleases you, you can have a frosted rose." "I do want one. It amounts to the same, doesn't it?" She sobbed. "It does, doesn't it? Oh, gods, you must think I'm despicable." "No, Dogmar. I think you're desperate. I don't hate you. I pity you. Cover up. You might catch a chill." She pulled on her dress, and this time the door moved at his touch, and he found a squire who led him to his room. He sat on the corner of the bed and put his face into his hands. "I'm being used as a stud to help their population. I demanded a frosted rose for my service, with distinction." Felice put an arm around him and sat beside him. "This is an outrage. My husband isn't a stud for anyone but his wives." "Or me," Charcy piped in. "Or Charcy. Or Masha. But that's it. How long did they think to get away with this? The length of the storm could be days, a week, or. Charcy frowned. That means you'll not be ours for the duration? Oh, no, they don't. Felice rummaged in her bag. I have a horrible idea. I asked Etta to brew another batch of the all-nighter potion. Pure? I called it the all-night potion. Charcy giggled. I don't know what you're talking about, but it sounds fun. Felice frowned. It's not. It's horrible. Chips shook his head. I can't believe you asked for that, or that it's here. Lazy storyteller, right? Get it all over in a night. No. Gods, no. I won't force you, love, but consider it. He stared at the floor, miserable. All right. We'll tell her to prepare the girls, and we'll pray I live. He drank some water and then wrote a message. He gave it to Hamsar. Give this to the commander, please. What is it, Chips? It's an important message. I can't read your words. That's good. Go quickly, lad. He then held Charcy and kissed her chin. All night? She asked. Until after dawn. Until my wives, all of them, could take no more. And still I had to have it. I had to summon Marigold the Toxicatus. Charcy frowned down at him. Marigold? She sounds pretty. Marigold is a lot of things, but no one's called her pretty, Felice answered. I love her, though, Chips added. Only you could, Sugar Chips. Maybe you're right. You know, I want a special name, Charcy declared. Chips smiled at her, grateful for a diversion. I'll think of one. Just give me some time. And what are your wives' names? Well, Etta is Sweetness, Kumek is Sweetling, Satrasha is Sasha, Seven is Honeycrock, and Felice, why, she's simply beautiful. Charcy clapped. Now, the name doesn't mean we have to marry, right? No, Charcy. She held his hand and kissed it. You're a rare man, Sugar Chips.